divine sacred beings. I want to send love to all the people out there who've been subscribing and watching all my vlogs. And today, another reflection for me. It's 2018 now, and last year was very tumultuous but also very rewarding and fruitful. This year I feel there'll be, as usual, many more valleys and peaks in our journey, but also as much as we will go low, we will reach even higher than before, because there is like in a graph, there's like a low point that we go to, but we're kind of reaching to a higher space, which is beautiful for everybody. There's so much more unconditional love and acceptance happening. There's so much more consciousness amongst everyday people, because they feel so pressurized. But then, what pressure does, it creates the diamonds that become valuable and that are valued and seen as something of, to be highly kind of honoured. So it's the same for us as humans. There's many people going through so many difficult times and facing many different things, but I do believe this is all our soul. This is a journey for our soul. So there's nothing that we did not there's nothing that we're going to go through that we can't handle and that we can't deal with. So that's one thing, we've got to remember that. So whatever you're going through, whatever you feel is impossible, you're going through this because you can handle it, and because, there's a destiny to it. You didn't just get dropped on this planet out of nowhere. You didn't resonate with the things you resonate with out of nowhere. You didn't attract all that is in your life for no reason. Everything is serving us. Everything is giving us some lesson. So we just have to stay mindful that everything is like genuinely a lesson for us to go through, to grow through. Sounds cliche, but it's just the truth. We're all growing through what we go through. As you might see, I've got my little underwater scene in the background, and the reason I've got this is because the elements, I want to talk about the elements and the value of them. As we all know, we wash every day and we use water to purify and cleanse and sanitize, and we've got to remember that we're made of these elements, we're made of these substances. So, if in doubt of anything, you must check in with yourself and ask yourself, like if you're feeling unwell or unhealthy or, fatigued or anything like that, you've got to ask yourself, what are you in need of? Obviously, the same old kind of things of like, I need to eat this and blah, blah, blah. But it's actually, we need to remember that because we're part of these substances and elements, we can boost ourselves by topping up. This might sound like really obvious, but it's easy to forget in our daily lives what we might actually need. So that's one thing, check in with yourself and ask yourself what you need. The other thing I wanted to reflect on is genuinely the thought processes that we can all go through. Each experience that we go through is unique to us. So there's never going to be anyone outside of us that can come in and give us some form of grand, heroic validation. We might have breakthroughs, we might have awakenings, we might have aha moments, talking to people, helping us to realise, and don't get me wrong, it's always good to share. But we are our own masters, we are our own counsellors, we are our own salvation. We can't look to someone else or some other external force, some other object for the I am, because you are an I am. Do you know what I mean? It's like because of the power that we have within us, which is untapped for many because of the kind of political and economical slavery that we're all experiencing on this planet. We're not able to really tune in and tap into the power that we are and evolve as a species. But don't get me wrong, it's going to happen. Oh yes, it's happening. It's just, we wouldn't be here if there wasn't some kind of cycles that we must go through and grow through. So we're going to get there. And that's another thing I wanted to tell you, that there's nothing to actually worry about, because in your soul lessons, you're growing, so you're learning. You might feel crap when you're in your body, but from a soul perspective and a higher self, it's a brand new perspective. It's a brand new place, perspective and shift that you've gone to that you might not have experienced in this way, in this time, in this moment. So on that level, the soul is rejoicing. So whatever thing on the physical level that you're thinking, oh my God, I can't believe I'm going through this, why me? Your soul is going, this is new, and this is what I need to learn for growth, for expansion, for consciousness, for connection to the source of all, to offer the world more humility, more peace, more understanding, more esoteric wisdom from inside your spirit, in the internal patterns from the every molecule of your being. There is another growth, another branch, another movement that happens when our consciousness and our metaphysical aligns and understands something. So that's another thing, that every lesson is growth, and it's beautiful, really. Don't get me wrong, like, I'm not saying like this shit ain't hard, because obviously we all feel it, and we don't want to feel it. We just want every day to just be blissful. Unfortunately, that's just not how it's going to be for everyone, and I don't think it is like that for anyone. And life would not be worth it if, we were just blissful 100% of the time, because we wouldn't be able to appreciate, we wouldn't have anything to compare it to, we wouldn't have any movement, and that's another thing that brings me to my next point. I was really thinking about, there's so much kind of talk and motivational spiel going on about take action on your goals, manifest this, manifest that, take action. But what I wanted to address in that is that sometimes, like, when we talk about taking action, it can, to me, my perspective and association with that is like, go and jump out of a plane, take action, go and get a gun and shoot something, it's like, it all feels a little bit combative. It all feels a little bit aggressive to me. Obviously, I'm an empath, so for me, I'm in tune with the energy of that. And for me, that association of that word, action, that kind of means fight. And I don't think that we need to fight when we're in our power and in our majesty. There is just a kind of accord that the universe takes on, that we are just part of. When we are a magical mofo, it's a working, believe it. It ain't no fight happening. It's gonna be how we decide it's gonna be. Do you know what I mean? So we need to remember that those words, take action, is almost as if you're fighting something that is impossible. But actually, when you realise that everything is possible, anything is possible, there's no fight, there's no struggle. It's just a process. It's an alchemical process. It's magic. It's the happening, it's the motion. And I was wanting to say, if you don't resonate with that word like me, a better word would be to be in motion, because this is how, don't get me wrong, we all have slumps. I have days where I'm kind of quite still and I need to be moving, and I need more movement, and I need more energizing, and I need motivation, and I think for me, explaining it as being in motion really helps me to feel motivated, because then I know that I'm working with my ecosystem. I'm not having to go out and fight. It's like I'm part of the all. Like, I'm part of this universe. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is no division. I'm working with the elements. I'm working with nature. I'm working with the all. So for me, motion is about tuning in to the ecosystem, tuning into the environment, to the universe, to the alignment, to the astrology, to the metaphysical, to all planes, to the astral planes. Like, I'm tuning in, and just being in working with every dimension of my expansive being. Like, I know I sound really hippie-fied right now, but it's just so true what I'm saying. Like, I'm not trying to big myself up, but I really mean it. Like, we have to realize that we're in motion, and when we tune into our atmosphere, we become in motion with it. There's no fight happening. Like, so again, this leads me to my next point about the motion, is that everything that we wish to align with in our lives, there is like a motion that needs to happen. And not only is that motion something that takes its course, like a flower is going to grow, it's something that has to grow. So it's a working, it's like a process, it's a nature. So there's something natural about the process of it growing, of growth, of the evolution of our intention and our pursuits. So when we're pursuing, we just allow something to happen. It's just like we plant our seed, and we allow, with our tending, things to acclimatize, to get to the right temperature, to absorb the nutrients, to form, to grow, to form again. You know what I mean? Like, it's a formation, like it's a transformation, it's a growth. Like, we don't look at a baby and say, because we want it to be at a certain point, like, oh, I want you to be a 21-year-old. The baby's just popped out. Like, it's just popped when it's born. When the baby's born, we don't expect it in a week to be a 21-year-old adult, living in the world with a job and paying bills, and you know what I mean? So we have to remember the same is for any natural transformation and any natural working. There's a process, there's a growth, and we must be patient. And I'm sharing this with you because I realized with myself, like, I had these pursuits, I've been having these pursuits, and things that I wanted to happen within like a year, I'm realizing actually that might take a couple of years, and I was getting frustrated and down on myself, but then I'm like blocking myself, and I realized it's because I need to be patient, like, because then when I did see some fruits of things that I was pursuing, it was like, oh, it has to happen how it's meant to happen. So what am I trying to force? Like, why would I want to force something to be what it's not meant to be at that moment? It's like cooking food and eating it and it's not cooked. Like, you can't force things. This is relating to being in motion. This is relating for things to being in nature. And this is relating to us being a magical creator and somebody who creates. And don't get me wrong, it's always great to co-create with others. Sometimes that can help it run swifter. But if we're, tuning in just with our pure pursuit, from an individual point of view, we have to allow some of these aspirational things to take form and grow and absorb nourishment and absorb our focus and absorb our work and our craftsmanship and our artistry and all the kind of, we need to let it marinate. Do you know what I mean? So all of that, I just wanted to share it all with you. I hope you gain some encouragement and reminders, because some of this stuff we kind of know deep down but we forget it. It's easy to forget and be distracted, and that's one of my things. I have to not get distracted. So yeah, just keep allowing your workings to take their form. Realise that you can be in motion and you don't have to force anything that's meant to be. And know that this year is a beautiful year and we're going to rise even higher. So you might see a lot of things going on, like if you watch the news, which I recommend not to, but you know, if you're keeping an influence with that, just know that there are some greater heights that we're going to travel to. So please allow yourself to be who you are, be in your truth and be authentic. I'm doing the same every day, working on myself to be more and more conscious and align with any elements that you may feel will benefit you. Fire, air, earth, water, spirit. What do you choose? Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Sending love, peace and blessings. Remember, we're the ones that rise above. One love. Bobby Neo. Mwah.